yeah, so we're going to show you just our favourite summer swaddles and sleeping bags, not the whole range, because if you've looked at our website, there's quite a lot. So we'll just show you, because we get questions every day. What's your favourite? What's the best one? What shall I have in this situation? So we'll just tell you about our favourites and the ones that every day we tell people is the best one. Okay, so let's talk about our favourite swaddles for summer. So this is the Purflo swaddle, and this is amazing. It's got so many good features. Look at that mesh, the mesh panels to avoid the sweaty baby. And these really cleverly placed under the arm and down the side, all the way down. Yeah, so this is a really super well designed swaddle. This is quite new. This is actually, like, we launched earlier in the year, we launched the winter versions of these. And Purflo only launched them in the UK for the first time, the summer ones, and the summer that's just been. So the key things why it's made our kind of like top swaddle list is really the number of features and how versatile it is. Love the mesh. It's also got a little snap, so it's in arms in or out. A little arm, so it's great for transition. It's great if you want to really easily just poke the little arms, bye-bye little hands grabbing on. You can easily snap them back up. And I also really like this, like with the Miracle Blanket, this is like a 0 to 4 month kind of size, so it really covers you. Miracle Blanket and Purflo cover you for that whole period that you could be swaddling for, and they cover you for the transition. Whereas a lot of swaddles, they are like 0 to 3 months, and then they don't start offering the kind of like transition feature until the 3 to 6 month version. Yeah, so we really like that. It's definitely a good one to have on your list. It's rated as 0.5 tog. It's kind of one layer of the t-shirt weight kind of fabric, sort of similar, just normal t-shirt fabric, but it's got the addition of the mesh. It also has, it also opens from the bottom, so if it was really hot, you could also get a little bit of extra ventilation at the bottom. And then the next swaddle that I'm going to show you, that we forget to mention it even though we invented it. We think it's really great. So this is Sleep Store fitted zip swaddle, and I might just quickly whip it onto this baby so you can see how it compares. So this is the same fabric as our 0.2 tog sleeping bag. Remember how to do it. So the reason we did this is we wanted a swaddle that was super simple, really lightweight. It doesn't have the option of arms out. It's really just for the first couple of months, maybe 3 months. And it's arms on the chest. When you put it on, baby's arms might be down, but hands will definitely come up to this hands on heart position, which not a lot of swaddles are really designed for that. So that's kind of where your baby's hands will end up. And we've done so much testing on so many babies with gazillion different prototypes to make sure that the hands won't get out the top, but it's not tight fitting. So it's not tight in any way across the chest. It's got heaps of hip room. It's got a double-ended zip. So again, you can leave the bottom open for ventilation and also for nappy changes. So do you love it? We think it's really clever. That's and also side zip swaddles. Side zips are quite common in sleeping bags, but not at all in swaddles. So, you know, lots of people have ripped off the kind of like zip swaddle that Ergopouch came up with. Lots of brands have copied that kind of design. Ours, we wanted to do one that was completely different, and this is it.
I think you've got to show the pattern too, right?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So this is our whale print that we've had. I think this is our 3rd summer with whales. But I think this has been the most popular because it's so beautiful and summery, and it's on this lovely new...
Whaley cute.
Whaley cute. Did you use that that line already.
I may have.
There may have been an emoji
not yet. I may have used it in previous posts. You know? There's lots of whale puns out there. I'm just gonna say.
Yeah. So let us know what you think about the design of our swaddle and our whales, because we think they're both pretty cool. Okay, then another swaddle that it's not possible to do a talk about swaddles and not tell you about the miracle blanket. This is our #1 most popular, most recommended swaddle. We all used it with our kids. It's really, really good. I remember when I first met James, actually, when I think he was expecting your second daughter, when James came for an interview, and we talked about the miracle blanket, and James used the miracle blanket, and that's like a really long time ago.
I failed badly with traditional swaddles, so it was just
miracle blanket all the way.
Yes.
And I've used the miracle blanket with 2 of my children, who now aged 13 and 11. So we've been selling it and telling people about it a long time.
I've used it for both my girls.
There you go. That's
my favourite.
Between our 6 babies that have been miracle blanketed. It isn't a summer weight swaddle, but we love it so much that we figured out lots of different ways you can use it. So can you see there the swaddling?
Yep.
Okay. Yep. So it's got these layers. In the summer, you might not want to use this short layer. You might want to tuck that layer underneath, the same as the little arm flap. And this layer, and you might want to not use the leg pouch. That's probably the easiest summer modification. That's also a good modification when your child just gets too long. And so this here is very secure because the weight of the baby is holding the arm flaps in place. And so then this one, if it was really hot at bedtime, you could just do that one layer. So feet out, one layer, arms are secure. And I'm talking about a new baby up to a couple of months when they're not wriggling. They're not in danger of wriggling all around the cot and the whole thing unraveling. Their weight's holding that in place. And then when you go to bed, or after you've had done like your, 11 o'clock feed or whatever, then you can whip over the second layer. So for during the day, you could do feet out and just that one layer. And so then it's effectively just a one t-shirt kind of layer. It's still a bit warmer than this, but still a really good option. And that, I would say, right through summer, for your overnight sleep, a miracle blanket is really hard to beat. And then just a couple of others that are runners up. It didn't make the top most recommended list. What do we call that? Highly commended. In the highly commended swaddle list, where's my Ergo?
There's hanging up there. There's a.
Oh, here.
Sorry, it's just hooked over there.
That's all right. And we didn't get this one out because the packaging is really hard to put back, and you wouldn't want like one that looks second hand. But so the Ergopouch, Amelia will put a link to it. But it's just it's kind of the original. Can you see that? Is it?
Down.
Yep.
I was holding it up to the light, not the camera. Duh. So this, I've known Alina from Ergopouch for probably more than 10 years. This was the first swaddle of its kind, in that it's got snaps on the shoulders, it had the zip, it's roomy through the hip, stretchy across the chest. It's an incredibly good swaddle. It's probably a bit mean to put it as highly commended, maybe we'll have top 4 swaddles. I love the swaddle. I used it a lot with my youngest. Comes in a 0.2 tog, so the same as our side zip swaddle, and it comes in a 1 tog, which is like a kind of a sweatshirt weight, and a 2.5 tog, which is really cozy for winter. So the cocoon swaddle bag from Ergopouch is a really good option if you kind of want an option of arms in or out. Very easy to use. Do really love it. I can't lie, I really love it. It can make the top list. And then also in highly commended would be Love to Dream, which is a super popular swaddle. Hannah, who owns Love to Dream, has also invented an incredibly popular swaddle. These are used, all around the world. An amazing success story. So hers now come in. These are 0.2 togs, so these are the lightweight, or they come in a 1 tog, bamboo or cotton. fixed arms or zip off arms, wings. These are the arms up position. The other ones are Miracle Blankets, arms down. Ergopouch and Sleep Store would be arms on the chest. These are arms up above the head. Right, so who wins the Purflo?
The winner of the Purflo is Yasmin Newman. She's
Yasmin!
like the Purflo Swaddle.
Swaddle, you cannot go wrong. I think it comes in the grey and
A Scandi dot. I think.
Scandi dot. This print. So you can choose the grey or the spot, Yasmin. Right, then the other thing I was going to show you quickly, because we've got a lot to get through, is just a very quick swaddle with a muslin.
Yes.
So actually old school swaddling with origami is actually, muslin is the hardest fabric that you can possibly swaddle with. So I don't know how it came to be that it was like the first choice people always think of for a swaddle, because it's really hard to get it secure. So the other option for you, oh, but which one to pick? Here's all our new range.
Leopard print.
Leopard print. Do you know, I've always wanted to do a leopard print. This is West Auckland. You know? We're all about the leopard print in West Auckland. There's far too much in my wardrobe. And I bought some new boots this winter before the lockdown, and I went shopping to buy black boots, but I couldn't find any I liked, so I bought leopard print because in West Auckland they're a neutral. They go with everything. And I've had a lot of wear out of them. Even sometimes put them on in my house at lockdown just to enjoy them. Anyway, so this kind of fabric is way easier to swaddle with because you can get it nice and snug around the shoulders, but it is going to be a little bit warmer. But just having a little plug for the square stretchy swaddle. This was the very first Sleep Store product. The first Sleep Store square swaddles were invented before there was the Sleep Store. I used to make them myself and give them to people. I used to make them in this fabric or flannelette. Old school, really old school.
It's old school.
Yeah. But and that was the first product that I ever got manufactured. It was very exciting. By a lady in her garage in Glen Eden. It's got an old school Sleep Store history. Okay, so a quick muslin swaddle, and then we're on to sleeping bags. Can you see that?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. So you see I've folded down the corner, and you want it, we do have a video of this on our YouTube and probably on the website, and we will find and show you, but just since you're here watching. So you want it just above the shoulders. You want that straight edge, and it's a 4-step process. So arms down, and then you go over, roll baby. I haven't done this for probably like 5 years, just very rusty. You want that right under baby's back. Remember what the safety stuff, you don't want it too tight on the chest, and you definitely don't want it too tight on the hips. So just make sure there's enough wriggle room. Then bottom corner goes down again behind baby's back to keep that in place. And then this next step is a little bit tricky. I was trying to explain this to someone the other day in an email. I should just watch this video, it's far easier. Bring it down, make a little V-neck, see a little V-neck, and then you get all the rest of this and you flip it round. So then that straight line there, that's what holds it in place. But still, that's hard to stay done up all night. But that's how you swaddle.
Nice.
Nice, thank you.
Nice face.
Ooh, okay, so if you've got any swaddle questions, oh look, here's a new rainbow print in swaddle as well. It's very exciting.
Very exciting.
You can't imagine how many conversations that we had to choose all the colours of those rainbows and what the proportion of all those colours would be. It's quite a fun office. That's why we miss being in the office, because you know
I miss it.
you can't have all those conversations like how many colours to put in the rainbow and what colour should the whales be for next summer and all of that. Okay, so any swaddle questions? Oh no, I know there's one other swaddle. This is the Embe swaddle. This swaddle is designed to be legs in or legs out. You can whip up the swaddle between the legs and snap it up here with legs out. So kind of like a bodysuit.
Yeah.
It's the swaddle that can be legs in or worn like a bodysuit. It's a little bit complicated, so that's why it only gets highly commended. But there's not many swaddles. It's the only really good one that has that's designed to be legs in or out.
Would the Purflo Swaddle sleep bag be better than like an arms up swaddle?
Oh, I don't know. It depends. There's not really an answer.
No.
I mean, oh, careful. It depends if your baby likes to sleep with the arms up, really. Like if they like their arms up and you want, I think that the Purflo has more control. Like it's, oh, where is it? It's there. So yeah, this is more of a kind of an arms on the chest swaddle. So a bit more startle reflex control than the arms up. It's got the mesh panels. It's the kind of one size fits all the time you need to swaddle. Whereas the arms up do we know what size baby this is that we're talking about? No. Okay. So I mean it might just, I like the fact that this goes from 0 to 4 months. And when we've back when we were actually doing baby shows, because not COVID, or when did we do baby shows? We done any this year?
I did Waikato. Was that this year?
Oh yeah. Anyway, so the feedback from people at the baby shows where we've had Purflo is that they loved that by one, and it does the whole thing, arms in, arms out, all of that. So it's really great from that point of view, and the mesh. Love to Dream. Lots of people really, really love to Dream. I loved it from about 3 months. My Eddie would not sleep arms up until he was over 3 months, and I just would stand there holding his arms pinned down until he went to sleep. And then he was all right once he was off to sleep. These are lovely, 0.2 togs, lovely lightweight. But it's really, the thing with swaddles is, unfortunately, you kind of need to try and see which one works for your baby. But Miracle Blanket, most babies love it, and we have money back guarantee on that. This or the Sleep Store swaddle, hard to go wrong, arms on the chest, especially when babies are little, because that's generally how they've been in the womb. So some key things to do with swaddling and safety. The first one is, never ever ever is it a good idea or safe to swaddle if you're bed sharing. And that is because you can get way too warm, and also baby's arms are trapped and harder to roll over, and for lots of reasons, no swaddling and bed sharing. And in a number of our groups, in our newborn group, pregnancy group, 4 to 12 group, I did share some information about what does safe bed sharing look like, and it looks like nothing, just mum and baby in a flat bed with nothing. And that specifically mentions as well, no swaddling with bed sharing. So that's your number one safety tip. The second one is that swaddles shouldn't be tight across the chest, which nothing that we sell would be tight across the chest, unless it's like a muslin that you like wrap up like super tight and then put probably some duct tape or something around it to stop it unraveling. I'm joking, but your swaddle, your baby, you should be able to see their chest moving easily with lots of room. The same goes for the hips. Baby's hips, let me show you a little example. In a swaddle, baby's hips should be in their natural, wide, kind of froggy position. So all of our stretchy swaddles, all our fitted swaddles, you will see that they have become, over the years we've been selling swaddles, which is like 15 years now, and yes, I am nearly 100. You will see the swaddles have got wider and wider as more has been known about hip health. So any of the fitted swaddles that we sell are very roomy for that reason, because if your baby's legs are forced into a straight position like that, it can force them out of the hip joint. We don't want that. And then obviously with swaddling in the summer, you really, really need to watch for overheating, And so always a swaddle is at least equivalent to a layer of clothes, or it might be more if it's one that goes around a couple of times, or if it's more snug fitting, it could be even warmer. So, you know, in the summer, if you're swaddling, you could just be swaddling with just a nappy and the swaddle. You'll probably need the window open, you'll probably need a fan on. If you have the luxury of aircon at your house, you probably want that as well. So really just be looking for layers, looking to get off layers. And the key sign that your baby is too hot, whether they're in a sleeping bag or in a swaddle or whatever, is that they're red and sweaty. Okay, red and sweaty is too hot. And crying can be a sign of being too hot. They have babies who normally sleep well but can't fall asleep. It's often because they're too hot or dehydrated, not too hot and not drinking enough. Is that all our safety tips? And then just all your other things like no hat and no headbands, not even for pretty Instagram photos. Get them all off. They're all a strangulation or overheating hazard. That's enough safety tips, I think. One more safety tip. If you are a master origami swaddler and you can get a swaddle like this to stay done up all night, then it's not a hazard. But if you're a crap swaddler, and sorry, but some people are crap swaddlers, and this becomes loose in your baby's bed, this is a hazard. Okay, so you need if your swaddles are becoming loose and coming unraveled during the night, I would really urge you from a safety point of view to ditch a square swaddle and go for something like this that stays safe and secure. It's away from baby's face. There's nothing loose that can get tangled up around them.
So it comes up all the time. People, and I have it as a parent as well, like the room's really hot at bedtime, but then the temperature drops overnight. So any tips on how to dress baby? What do we do in that situation?
Okay, so the answer to that probably depends a little bit on the age of your child, but our advice, the one that, like, if your child's sleeping through the night generally, and you're sort of not up and down to them, dress them for the coldest part of the night. Because if you dress them for the hottest part of the night, when the temperature drops, they will wake up cold and you will have to get up and put more clothes on them or a change sleeping bag or whatever. So the usual advice we would give is dress your child for the coolest part of the night. And at bedtime, when you're putting them to bed, you might need to have a fan or aircon on. You might need the window open. You might need, if they're really warm, you might just need to like wash their face with a cold flannel. Because often if you kind of, I know when I've travelled in places overseas that are really hot, like India, we would like put all our clothes on wet and then go out, you know, and within a little while, that whole wet and then evaporating, that will keep you a bit cooler. So I'm not suggesting you put your child to bed in soaking wet clothes like we walked around India in, but you could like put them to bed, like use a face cloth and dampen their hair and their face a little bit. With the fan and the window open, probably be enough to cool them down enough to get to sleep. Some people talk about doing stuff like putting a bowl of ice in front of the fan. I don't know if that works. Has anyone tried it? Kind of feel like maybe it's an old wives' tale, an old husband's tale. But I mean, I've read that in lots of places. I just kind of read it. I've never fussed that much at bedtime. I just open the window and they go to sleep.
I leave the bedroom door open, the window open, and I've got the fan on it.
You kind of need the draft, and also experiment with which way your fan is facing. We've had lots of people say, put the fan towards the window so it does something. But yeah, just experiment. You can read a lot about.
Someone said that they've done it. I put a bowl of ice in front of the fan. It does cool the air a bit.
Lovely, thank you for that. So you could also do things like, I guess, I'm thinking when I go camping, I always freeze 3-litre bottles of milk, because a 3-litre bottle of milk stays frozen in your chili bin a really long time. So maybe the same theory, don't use milk in your child's bedroom, but you know, like those 3-litre juice bottles or even a 2-litre bottle, freeze it and try it with that, and it'll stay cold for a lot longer than actual just like ice cubes. And if you're going camping, seriously, 3 litres. And the other tip with camping is you need 2 chili bins, so you keep the cold stuff. Remember one Christmas, our lamb that we bought to barbecue for Christmas Day, 4 days later it was still frozen solid, and we were like desperately trying to defrost it on Christmas Day. So it really does work. I digress. Okay, so the other thing you could do, if it's a little baby that you're getting up to regularly anyway, then you're probably better to just add some layers through the night. So a little baby like a newborn, like this, you might just have them in a bodysuit or just the nappy and their swaddle, and then when you get up to feed them through the night, you could put like a gown or something on and then the swaddle, or you could tuck a blanket over them, as long as, remember, with blankets and little babies, no higher than the armpits, because you don't want anything up over their face. So if you are adding a warmer layer over a newborn, a couple of options you could use, which James has prepared earlier, would be our super light but really perfect rib or any of our little muslin swaddles, or a wool babe swaddle blanket, because with these you can tuck it in just with one layer. You can see it's quite thin, or if it was the middle of the night and it was really cold, you could tuck in 2 layers like that. I can't resist it, I have to show you our new blanket. These new blankets just arrived today. Again, I ordered these a year ago from a supplier that I met before the pandemic. So long ago. 2 years ago, I met this supplier in Germany, and they're like expert organic cotton blanket makers. Just admire. So that, again, a light, hope you love it. A light cotton blanket would be another thing that you could tuck in at night when you go to bed. Yeah, so that's a couple more options.